Hello everyone, welcome to the last exercise of Module 1, Introduction to Google Earth Engine. In this tutorial, we will show you how to search and download datasets into your scripts. Earth Engine is a vast dictionary of raster datasets and analysis. In this course, we will be working on many operations which are basically related to image processing. So, as a beginner, it is necessary to know about importing datasets into script and some basic visualization steps in Earth Engine. So, let's get started. As our first step, we will show you how to import any dataset in your script. Go on the search panel in the top section of your script. By clicking here, you will see two search options. These are predefined by the Earth Engine API. If you click on Browse Data Catalog, it will take you to a new web page, which is basically the collection of all Earth Engine datasets, called as Earth Engine Data Catalog. It contains all kinds of datasets from climate and weather to geophysical data. By clicking on this Explore button here, you can dig deep into each dataset. Moving forward, if you know which type of data you want for your analysis, you can just simply search them by name. Like we want to start with an image asset, it can be any kind of imagery you want to import. I will go with SRTM. Type SRTM in the search panel. It will give you all the collection of SRTM datasets, like raster, tables, and many more. By narrowing down my search, I will type SRTM 30 meter. I get a list of top 5 datasets. These are the global digital elevation datasets which have 30 meter spacing approximately, called as SRTM30. You can click any of those entries to read a larger description about each dataset. In this case, it will give you a little bit of information and the links to the provider of datasets. You can go to the link for deep information about the datasets. Into the User Guide button, it will give you a proper guide for how to use the dataset. You can explore them on your own. If you want to use this dataset, you can click on Import button here. Now, I have a new section at the top of my script. That is called as Import. It is the list of variables we have imported from Earth Engine Catalog. You can rename the variable to SRTM, like this. And here is the link to description page. This provides your script a variable with which it can work. To get detailed information about SRTM image you just imported, you have to print it into the console tab. Here, right? Print bracket. Inside the bracket, type SRTM, which is the name of the variable. Now, run the script. Here in the console tab is a complete description of SRTM image object. And as I explained it out, I get some more attributes. These are basically object type, object ID, its version, and most importantly, image bands. By expanding it, you can see that you only have one band here, which is band 0. It has the information about its elevation, the projection, which is referred as CRS, and ways to transform this projection. Remember, an image may have different bands with different projections. You can work with all of them individually in the Earth Engine. Next, you have here is Properties tab. It gives you very detailed information about what an image represents. You can delete your imports by clicking on the Delete button. Now, to get a proper visualization of your image, you have to display it over your Map Viewer panel. You can do it by going into Documentations tab here and clicking on Map. It will give you a list of arguments you can use to visualize an object into your map. We will use this onMap.addLayer command. It is a built-in method to add objects like SRTM in our map panel. So, type map.addLayer bracket your variable name and in the end of the code, semicolon. Now run your script. And as a result, we get this gray image in our Map Viewer panel. It displays the elevation. To modify your image into a better visualization, you have to pass more arguments into this code. For this, hit backspace and press Control Space. It will give you the list of all the things you can do with our map object. And if you hit Control Space in map.add layer, it will give you all the parameters that you can pass into your code. The first parameter is EE object. It is short for Earth Engine Object. In our case, it is SRTM image. So we will replace it with SRTM like this. The second parameter is visual parameters. This is the way we are going to control the display of our object. For this, you have to provide a JavaScript dictionary with curly brackets. These are basically the visualization parameters of your data, as we have data which is about elevation and it is based on minimum and maximum value. As we have data which is about elevation, that is based on minimum and maximum values. So we use them as our parameters by typing in curly bracket, minimum, 0. It is the lower end of the elevation and an upper end value, maximum, 1000. Remember that this data is in meters. So by 1000, I mean 1000 meter elevation. You can also change it to 3000 meters. Now run your script and you will see a completely different visualization in your map. You can also see here that your image has name layer 1, which is by default. You can change it by typing single quote SRTM in your code as a name, like this. Hit run. Now you see your layer is entitled as SRTM. You can turn it off or change its opacity like this. If you want to change the color of your image from grayscale to any other, you have to add a new parameter into your visual parameters, which is palette. Type palette, single quote, purple, green. These two colors represent the maximum and minimum value of elevation. It can also interpolate between middle values. You can change them to any color, like for example, I want to assign more colors to my elevation values, so I will add white and red between my minimum and maximum value into the palette, like this. You can do a lot more complex things into your visible parameters. Just go through documentation for detail. So you can add more data sets in one script and play with them into multiple layers. That's all for the final exercise of basics. Thank you for watching.